What's up, beautiful? Welcome to Bonnets and Pillow Talk with me, your host, Miss Fadzo. Today, I'm having a really emotional day. It's one of those long distance blues kind of days, so bear with my energy. But because I'm having such a hard time focusing on anything that's really like a proper conversation, I decided to just remind myself exactly why I wanted to start creating content in the first place. The first piece of content I ever posted on the internet was posted, I think, in 2017 on SoundCloud. I recorded a then audio recording in 2016 after I just gotten a driving ticket, and I think I titled it something like "The Importance of uh, the Stride and Not Running." And I remember just recording it and putting it on the internet so that I could remind myself and just tell myself, like, hey, girl, like, this is the importance of taking things as they go. And sometimes it's important to think about the longevity of the race rather than just getting to the end of the finish line. And I remember that as obviously as a young person as I grew up. I've always been like an old soul. I'm an older sibling. I'm the first daughter. I've always been the friend that people call and get advice from. I've been the friend that kind of becomes the mom of the group wherever I go. And I've realized that that's just something that I have and something that comes naturally in me. And I love and I appreciate that. But it also comes with the responsibility in that I think a lot of young people that I have around me look up to me and come and ask questions, and it pushed me to learn a lot more things. And I love the process of transferring knowledge, like going and researching about something and like acquiring the knowledge for myself because it's something that I'm interested in, but then being able to see how sharing that information and sharing that knowledge impacts other people who are my age or younger than me or older than me, and how that information changes the way that they live their life, their quality of life, and things like that. Like, that's the kind of impact that I want to have, and the kind of impact I feel like I've had in my own way, in small ways, throughout my life. And so I wanted it for myself because I felt like I didn't always see it everywhere else. I remember even thinking, like, in conversations that I'm having with my girlfriends, I wish I had girlfriends who could hype me up and tell me, like, when I go to them and tell them, like, I want to give up, instead of them being like, yeah, girl, let's give up, then be like, no, girl, you can do hard things, you can do all things, like, we can, like, fight, you're meant to be great, so we do hard things. Like, I needed somebody who would hype me up, and I felt like I just didn't have that, and I needed to be that for myself, and hence the name Hype Man Chronicles. But I realized that I needed to become my own champion and my own advocate. And sometimes the best advice that I gave for other people was the advice that actually I needed for myself. And I realized the best advice I gave sometimes was to other people. And if I recorded it in the form of a conversation with another person, I could receive that advice better for myself. So, really, I remember that I started creating content as a way to kind of just remind myself that I was worthy, remind myself that I could do hard things, remind myself that despite being afraid and despite feeling like I wasn't equipped or I didn't have enough knowledge or I didn't have enough skills, I could do hard things. I could do um, challenging things. I could do interesting things. I could do dynamic things. I could do fun things. I could do anything that I had set my mind to doing. And I just needed a place that reminded me that constantly on the internet. And that's why I created Fudzo Media Productions. That's why I created Umambo Couture. I wanted more representation, I wanted more access, and I wanted to spread more information. If I can do anything in any platform that I have, is I want to be able to take lessons that I've learned, information that I've acquired, things that I've I've experienced, to be translated into information that can help somebody else, so that you don't have to make the mistakes that I made. And really and truly, that's why that's my why. This is why I'm on the internet. And I think part of falling in love with doing this again and why I'm doing this challenge is to remind myself of the beauty and the joy in being able to reflect on who I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the advice that that person gave me then and how it's applying in my life today. I am currently editing a video from the COVID vlogs in February and March of 2020. And I was, the vlogs I'm editing right now are trying to get out of a rut because I just lost my job. And I was realizing that I had lost a lot of skills and I was feeling really uncomfortable and really like doubting my skills and my abilities. And actually, ironically, that's where I'm at right now. I quit my job in December, so I haven't been working for the last 2 months. Um, I kind of had a plan for what I wanted to do, but that plan has had to change due to other circumstances, which is fair enough. But it's put me in a place where I think I'm again starting to doubt my abilities, and I feel like I didn't fail forward. I feel like I failed and looked back and realized I was so far backwards. When I thought I was making steps forward, I was actually making steps backwards. And the things that I thought I could do, I can no longer do. I used to be able to record and edit and like script, record and edit a video within like a couple of hours. And if it was like a 20-30 minute video, I would be done in 5 hours. Nah, I mean, you can get it cut shorter than that once you have like a good workflow and a framework that you're using. But right now, I'm literally like establishing frameworks, establishing what I want shows to look like again. I'm having to relearn like how to use things on YouTube because things have changed, and how to use ads, and realizing I just don't know because I haven't been on the internet. I haven't been posting. I haven't been interacting with the digital space, and that's the industry that I wanted to work in, and that's the industry I'm going back into. But because I've had 2 years of complete like separation from that industry, I'm starting over and it's scaring the bananas out of me. And that's the season that I was in a few years ago, and I can look back at all that footage now and be like, dude, like the person that I was then didn't even know she was going to graduate. I was worried about not being able to graduate, and I graduated. That means I can do hard things. That means I can achieve things when I'm disciplined and I'm focused and I give myself a chance to actually be successful. And I think I'm just having to remind myself in this season, even when I don't feel it myself, I have to just tell myself and just be like, hey, girl, if you can count on anything, first of all, you can count on God, because He's been faithful this whole time. Even when you've made dumb decisions, even when you've been disobedient, He's been faithful. So if you can count on anybody, you can count on God. But you can always count on your ability to be resilient, because you've gone through some of the craziest things. And I'm not saying they are crazy in the sense of like they're the worst things that have happened to somebody. I know there are people who've probably experienced crazier things, but in those times, it felt like the world was crumbling, and I still managed to get out of those places and get myself to a place where I am now. So I think it's just, I have to remind myself while I'm in the valley right now, while I feel like I don't have control right now, I have to remind myself, like, hey, it's okay. This is a season. This is not the rest of your life. So while you're in this season, yes, hustle. Yes, work. Like learn in this season, grow in this season, get what you can in this season. There's so many good things that come from this season of rest. Acquire what you can in this season, but also prepare for the next season that's coming, and make sure that you're not taking habits with you that you used in the bad season to cope with the bad season into this new fresh season that you're going into. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to end the video here because I don't want it to be too long, but I just wanted to remind myself, like, girl, remember why you started creating. You You started creating because you wanted to remind yourself that you can do anything. And it doesn't matter whether you're qualified for it or not. Just by being yourself, you have the ability to learn skills. If it's a skill, it can be learned. If I can't edit, I can learn how to edit. If I can't take photos, I can learn how to take photos again. Those things can be learned. But I have things about me, I have talents about me, I have qualities that naturally come out from me that bring so much more value than the skills that I feel like I've lost in the process. And those really are the things that are just going to distinguish people um in a workplace. And those are the skills, those are the things that I want to work on in this season of starting over. So, yeah, I want to know if you are starting over in any department in your life. Are you starting a new job? Have you ended your job? Are you starting a new business? Um, we're in a new month anyway, so what are you doing at the moment? What's up with you? How are you today? Let me know in the comment section. I hope you have a fabulous day. I'm gonna go and give myself a pat on the back because I just did a really hard thing. Have a fabulous day. It's been me, your host, Miss Fuzzo, and this has been Bonnets and Pillow Talk with me, your host. Have a fabulous day. Bye.